Fisher now. Got sliced bread out there saying
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Bread.
I thought you were going to say SpongeBob when Squidward gets excited because the grocery store has canned bread. And the label says the best thing since sliced bread.
Favorite breads, go.
Ooh. Man, that is tough.
Give me some of that brioche.
Brioche.
Brioche is good.
Whoa.
I
Brioche is
like
dessert.
Toasted sourdough. It's
Toasted
amazing.
sourdough.
Ciabatta's pretty good.
Wow, I'm like freaking out right now. I'm put on the spot.
Ciabatta is my deal.
That's the one?
I'll roll with ciabatta. I mean, all of these are
They're all good,
Can't
right?
go
Yeah.
wrong.
Yep.
But I'll go with ciabatta.
Well, I eat just like bread, like just some bread every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my favorite. Just white bread,
Mm-hmm.
4 ingredients, the best. But maybe like focaccia, something like that.
Okay.
Little herb, olive oil action.
I love it all. And I would be remiss in saying, Pearson, you make extremely good tasting bread.
Thank you.
It's chewy.
It has been
It's awesome.
years in the making of many, many loaves that were just completely inedible. I'm happy with what I got now. What's your favorite bread?
I think I would say all the above that are mentioned. I'm good with any of them. Probably bun would be brioche.
Mm.
Bread would be some sort of like 5-grain-ish type of deal.
With the seeds on the outside?
Yeah. Or seeds through it too.
Okay.
You can go with a little seeded bread too. But it's all great and bad for you at the same time.
Not if you make it right.
Not if you make it
Not
right.
if you make it right.
And to be honest, with a fried fish sandwich or just a piece of white bread, light bread, delightful.
Yeah. Well, white bread with like some Nashville hot chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Nashville hot chicken. And they put the white bread like on the chicken. So you're like, oh, here's this beacon of hope and all this spiciness. Let me eat this white bread. And it's like just drenched in the hot chicken sauce.
Mm.
So I guess to come back around, is there anything better than bread?
You'd be hard pressed to find an argument from me.
Sandwiches, tartines, toast, fresh cinnamon bread. Trying to think. I made something with French toast with brioche.
Yes.
Out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Josh texted us, says Jewish rye.
Very specific for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it in general. It's gonna have to be on like a Reuben or some deal like that. Not in general. I don't enjoy it generally, but
yeah, that's
time
the one
and place,
thing.
though.
Yeah, I don't eat a lot of darker breads. I don't eat ryes. I don't eat pumpernickels. The only breads that I eat regularly that are dark in color are banana bread and pumpkin bread, which are also just cake.
yeah.
Anything else, Wes, Chris? Y'all don't seem as enthusiastic about bread as we are. Our keyword was bread. We have an opportunity to just talk about bread.
I mean, I was good at the beginning. Now I'm kind of over it.
Wow.
Yeah. I've said my
Wes
piece.
definitely limits his carbs guy.
I need to be. I'm not. I'm really not.
Okay. All right. Well, since Josh texted in wonderful nomination for bread being the best, let me go ahead and ask. Josh wanted me to ask you two this question yesterday. He wanted to know on a scale of, I forgot the scale, but let's go 0 to Spencer Rattler. Where is Luke Doty 6 games into the 2022 football season?
That's a tough scale. Let's see. I mean, it is hard to say, to be honest, without being able to watch practice. But I think the little bit we've seen from Luke, plus adding what you hear, behind the scenes, plus what you hear publicly from the coaches, is that Luke is much more comfortable in this scheme than he was this time last year. He looks, to me, again, limited time, to be 100% healthy. Like it looks like he's gotten his explosiveness back when he's taken off running in his limited action this year. I don't know if he's necessarily that far off from what we've seen on the field. Now, I think the thing with Rattler, you're always going to have to sort of say is just the arm talent, like the NFL arm, the ability to get the ball out so quick with such velocity. is going to be hard for anybody else on the roster to touch. But I think if Doty had to go into a game, then South Carolina would feel pretty good about him putting them in a position to win the game. I think is maybe the best way I could say it.
It's also an interesting scale because typically you get like 1 to 10. And
1 to
Spencer
bread,
Rattler
basically.
through 6 games has not been a 10. He's been, I don't know, like a 4. So I guess Luke Doty on a scale of 1 to Spencer could also be like better or a 1 or a 3. I don't know, Chris. How would you answer that question? Let's pretend Josh is standing right there.
I don't think I get. You said Spencer's a 4.
Well, I don't know.
I'm
I'm just throwing
I
a
don't-
number out.
Yeah.
It's not really a scale of 1 to 10. It's a scale of Josh Yellman's creation.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I'm on the same page with Wes and what he's saying, where I think South Carolina would be comfortable. The thing that is evident is there was very much a feeling that Luke has made a jump from, at least in the coaches' minds. Now, he hasn't been out there except for a little bit of mop-up duty. So in that way, you never fully know how a guy's going to play until he's out there again. And we haven't seen like a fully realized version of Luke Doty ever, because he's either been in an objectively horrible situation, interim staff, offense that's struggling, true freshman, bounce back and forth between 2 different rooms, or last year where he has a foot injury in the preseason and is clearly not himself even when he does return to action until he gets shut down later in the year. So we haven't been able to, and different offenses, right? So like he just hasn't had the opportunity to develop. So I think this year off the field, sitting, waiting his turn has been really positive for him. And so we'll see, but it is pretty clear that the staff feels like he's made, pretty big jumps. So I don't think there's like some just the Grand Canyon between the two guys, but Spencer's the clear starter, and Luke, they feel like, has made a lot of strides.
Let me restate my my normal Luke Doty diatribe that I go on, and I was a little bit, and this is going off what Chris said too, but I was a little bit, I don't know my word, but it was kind of messed up in my opinion how a certain portion of the fan base just jumped all over Luke and some of the things that was said about him last year, when he was clearly playing not healthy, and when you're talking about a guy, a lot of times you're 4 and 5 star quarterbacks, which Luke was a mid 4-star guy. A lot of times they've played a lot of football at quarterback. Luke, that was just not the case. He came in kind of as like an upside guy, but that had not played a ton of quarterback. His sophomore year of high school, he was moved to wide receiver because they had a senior at quarterback. He did play his full junior year. His senior year, he got hurt midway through the season and missed the final half of his senior year in high school. And then he comes in, and what do? They say, hey, go play some wide receiver. They give us this big thing about, hey, he's one of the best playmakers on the team, but then he plays like 6 snaps in the first half of the year. And then his first action, they literally told him as they were jogging back out onto the field the second half against Missouri, hey, you're going in. It wasn't even like, hey, let's spend this 20 minutes to get Luke mentally prepared to go in at halftime. It was, hey, you're in a COVID year. So I don't think we have seen, because of all those reasons, we have not seen Luke Doty get his chance to actually kind of ease into the college game and go play. Like, he was never a guy that should have been put in a spot where he was going to have to make an extremely early contribution to this program. But that's just what happened. That's how it played out. And I'm kind of interested to see what he can be with a full season, under his belt behind Rattler. And he's had a different quarterbacks coach from you go back, he was originally offered by Kurt Roper. So he was offered by one quarterbacks coach. He signed with a second quarterbacks coach. He had a third quarterbacks coach his first year, and then he had a second or fourth quarterbacks coach. I've lost count as my brain can't even fathom it anymore. Point being, it's been a different guy every year until this year.
It's almost impossible to be around as long as he's been around and have so little information on somebody. It's kind of interesting. So I don't know what that means for the rest of the season. Like you said, Spencer's a starter. He seems pretty clearly so. I don't know. I don't know how much we're going to see Luke Doty in the back half of the season, other than maybe Carolina being really, really up or really, really down in some games. But just wanted to ask that for Josh, and because it's the open week and an opportunity to talk about some of those evaluations. I remember Shane Beamer was asked before, I think it was before the Kentucky game, just about Luke's red shirt, because at that point he had played in 4 games, and there was some, I guess there was some question, hey, do you feel like this is an opportunity to get him an extra year? And I was like, no, I mean, he's the backup. You gotta have a backup. So that was asked and answered pretty quickly, but it was just, I guess, last week that the redshirt potential for this year was burned. But in any case, 803-404-6100. We'll come back to that. Like I said, it is the open week, so we have an opportunity to take a step back, talk a little bit about Carolina. We'll talk about some of the other games around the SEC as well. A lot of interesting matchups, in my opinion, but want to hear from you guys on a Football Friday. 803-404-6100. Text line. You can get us in the Love Chevy phone line, and you can get all of us on Twitter at Pearson Fowler, at Coach P Tweets, at Wes Mitchell GC, and at GC Chris Clark.
More of the Extra Point coming up next on 107.5 The Game.
This is Damon Amendolara with your CBS Sports Minute. Ron Rivera went on a rant last night defending Carson Wentz, and to be quite frank, that happened to be the only interesting thing that happened in the game, with how loud Rivera has to scream that he likes his QB. It's like telling your loved one, you don't look fat in those skinny jeans. The louder you yell, the less genuine it seems. This is Damon Amendolara. CBS Sports Radio.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The wait is over. New Chevys are on the lot now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. These vehicles are in demand and selling fast, so don't miss out. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet or visit us online at HerndonChevy.com today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Gutterman offers a variety of guards for your gutter. Protect your biggest investment. Call the guys in the powder blue trucks. Locally owned and operated for 46 years. Call 791-7147. That's 791-7147.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Hey, this is Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Even after 25 years of business, we continue to build Midlands Landscape around the trust and care of our customers. Our desire is to turn your outdoor space into your dream space. Midlands Landscape can create and install patios and fire pits, outdoor fireplaces, outdoor kitchens and cabanas, retaining walls, and even swimming pools. Let us build your outdoor living space. Call Midlands Landscape and Lawns at 356-8080 or midlandslandscape.com.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
what QC Kinetics is doing for people here is nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real, lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Bill Gunner, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from an injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids, pain medications, and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. Maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics today for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now, 803-281-6860. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation, 803-281-6860. That's, again, 803-281-6860.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, presented by Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen with Pearson Fowler, Chris Clark, and Wes Mitchell on the home of the Gamecocks, 1075 The Game.
11:20 Friday morning on a football Friday, and welcome back into the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Pearson, Preston, Wes, Chris here with you. Stonefire Non. Also,
as a bread nomination,
yeah, another non.
Let's go.
Suggestion says brush it down with olive oil, grill it for a few minutes each side. Got the rolls at Fats with honey butter.
Ooh,
haven't had those specifically.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, the Texas Roadhouse honey butter and
yeah,
they're on
bread.
par. They're on par.
Woo.
Very similar.
Also a nomination for Hawaiian rolls.
Obviously,
yeah. Really good bread, folks. Bread. So naan and flatbread though, like we will make a naan or a pita or something at least once a week for a curry or whatever. Really good. Really, really good. Finally, kind of not perfecting, but getting ready. Like for a while, we were just getting like one giant bubble for whatever reason. Now we get the little bubbles, the nice texture, a little crispy.
So good.
What I really want, because you see like when they're making street food in places around the world where flatbreads are more common, and they have those huge clay ovens, and they just slap the dough on the inside, like the side and the inside, and it just sticks and turns into magnificent bread
Against the walls.
Yeah.
I
I want to get one of those, but I don't know if it'll fit in our kitchen or if it's practical at all. But man, I love flatbread. I love bread. Bread is the theme of today's show. Also talking Carolina football. We'll get back into Wes and Chris's thoughts on the offense through the first 6 games of the season. But first, Wes wants to remind everybody what they can do if they have to move and don't want to have a terrible experience moving.
Yeah, if you put one of those big old ovens into your kitchen and your wife says, get out, move out, leave, I'm done with you, you can call Gamecock Moving, or you can just go to GamecockMoving.com. If you want to call them or text them, it's 803-814-3569. I don't know about you guys, but I have made a promise to myself that I will never actually move again, as in physically be the person to move my stuff. So this last time I had to move, I hit up Gamecock Moving. They literally come out, they pack up your things for you, they bring a team out, they put it on the truck, they take it to the new property, they pull it off the truck, then they set it up in your new house exactly where you want it. It is a very, I would say, low effort, which is what you're looking for if you're moving, thing on your part. They do all the effort for you. And right now, if you tell them that you heard about them right here on this show, the GC Takeover Hour 1075, you get a discount as well. They will treat your belongings as if they were their own. Again, 803-814-3569, Gamecock Moving, GamecockMoving.com.
Chris, who or what has been the most pleasant surprise for South Carolina's offense this year?
Jalen Brooks, I would say.
Cool. Good one.
Cool. Ding.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll ding it. Very good.
Chris was all
Any
over that
elaboration?
one.
Just Jalen Brooks.
Yeah, no context. No, I mean, I think he was a little bit of the forgotten man. He was away from the team for a little while, obviously, and then you had the fact that, Josh Vann was coming back. there was some talk about some of the other guys that, not just talk, but, legitimate feeling of some of the other guys that were already on the roster, having good springs, taking steps forward. And then, of course, you add in the 2 transfers in Juice Wells and Corey Rucker. Rucker injured in preseason, so hasn't been as much of a factor as probably he would have been. But Brooks kind of quietly put together a really good preseason camp. And so when he came in, it was kind of this feeling of, all right, don't forget about Jalen Brooks, and then season comes along. You remember the depth chart comes out and there's a Jalen Brooks or Josh Van and an or. And he's ended up playing, I think he and Juice are 1 and 2 in snaps at receiver. And he's made a lot of plays in a variety of ways. He's been a downfield threat. The little crossing routes, the drag routes, he's been really good on those. He's shown reliable hands, which is something that, he needed to become more consistent with.
Yeah,
So
a couple catches
he's
in
got the ball
traffic
around.
this year.
Yep.
Well, when the depth chart came out, it was like Jalen Brooks or Josh Van. Like, what in the world? Now it's like Jalen Brooks or Josh Van, but for the complete other reason. It's when we kind of predicted our 2 deeps, I guess a couple of weeks before the season, I was going over in my head the wide receivers, or not in my head, it was out loud, and I was like, "Is there anybody I'm forgetting?" And Wes was like, "You haven't mentioned Jalen Brooks," and I was like, "Is he even on the team?" You're like, "Yeah." And now he's the second best wide receiver, so that's a good one. Well, let's do it like this. Chris, go ahead and give me your most disappointing or underwhelming part of the offense this year.
Turnovers. That's easy.
Cool. All right. Wes, what is the most how did I ask it to you, Chris?
Most disappointing.
No,
Or
the first one.
underwhelming.
Was it best or most surprising, or how did I ask it?
Yes.
Most surprising, I feel like, is
Sure, yeah.
what
I
you were
think
going
that's it.
for.
Yeah.
Team or offense only?
Offense only, but it can be an individual performance or a facet of the game that you've been impressed with.
Okay. I mean, Jalen's probably the easy answer, but I want to give something different. I will probably say just how much Nate Atkins has been involved, and I think he's been pretty helpful in the running game. Obviously, he doesn't get thrown the ball much at all, but they've really kind of, I would say, gone all in on this thing of let's put 2 tight ends on the field. Let's get a bigger guy out there and become a run first offense. As Preston cheers beside me.
I think Preston secretly wishes he was a tight end.
Not a bad job.
Yeah.
I think Preston could have been a great tight end.
Tiger hands.
Fullback.
Yeah. So, I'll say Nate. And then just off of that, the running game in general, I feel like compared to last year, on the whole, has been improved.
Most disappointing.
I would just say the overall explosiveness / passing game side of the offense. Like I expected it to be just more consistent, more efficient. I don't think that's necessarily because of any one thing or person, but overall, I expected a bit more from just the overall passing game.
Preston?
To add on to that,
Okay.
I think it's more not disappointment, but having to maybe recalibrate what success was for the offense. I think we were under the impression that it was going to be one way, with Spencer sort of lighting the scoreboard up and showing his arm talent, which he obviously has, but we haven't seen that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even sure that that's the actual way that the team should proceed forward in finding success. So I guess if there was going to be a disappointment, is that we haven't seen those sort of over the top fireworks, but I'm not sure that that's even the way that we should go forward.
So what's been your most pleasant surprise or positive that you've seen from the offense in the first 6 games?
Pleasant surprise would be Juice Wells.
Okay.
And I'm pleasantly surprised because as well as he did at that lower level, I don't think you can ever guarantee that it's going to translate into the SEC. And for that to actually translate and probably be even better than we as good as advertised or better is really nice to see.
I'm guessing none of y'all went pleasant surprise on Marshawn Lloyd because you were just expecting him to be a beast.
I don't want to say pleasant surprise. I think I was just hoping that this would happen. Like,
Yeah.
really, really hoping that would happen. And I'm not surprised, but I'm really glad that it's happening.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I will say they're being completely honest here. Like there was that little part of me in the back of my head where I kind of wondered, like, all right, is his skill set going to translate against SEC competition? Because I felt like early on there were some runs where he barely got tripped up, or some runs where it felt like he didn't quite see what was in front of him. That I was going, okay, at the high school level, he's just fast, explosive, probably a load to hit at that level. Like he's a shorter guy, but he's got some bulk to him. And, so I was sitting there saying, is it all going to come together for him? And even after we saw it against Charlotte, I was kind of wondering, what exactly is this going to look like against SEC competition? I am higher on Marshawn Lloyd than I ever have been after watching the Kentucky game, because I thought he ran through some tackles in between the offensive tackles, like inside running, where he's just having to break a tackle from a true SEC linebacker against a good, solid SEC defense. So yeah, I would throw him into the, I don't want to say surprised category, but definitely the category of I wasn't completely saying he's arrived yet or going to arrive until I saw it for myself. And I think we have seen that come together for him.
Yeah, surprises aside, I mean, I think he's got to be one of the, if not number one of the top 2 or 3 just positives that you have seen from Carolina's offense in the first half of the season. We'll talk about a few more kind of suggestions here and evaluations of the first half of the season. Also do want to get your thoughts, Wes and Chris. Preston and I already had our picks, but some big, interesting SEC games this weekend: Mississippi State and Kentucky, of course, Alabama and Tennessee. And it is a Friday, which means no Carolina game, but we're still going to buy or sell. So we got that coming up for you as the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour continues.
More of the Extra Point coming up next on 107.5 The Game. High school coverage on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Attention, anyone shopping for a new Jeep, turn up your radio now. Announcing the special order $1 sales event at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. Here's how it works. Visit Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone and order the exact Jeep you want. Put just $1 down. Plus, we'll give you a $1,000 special order discount. No limitations, no exclusions. Just order any Jeep model, any Jeep trim level, and it's yours for just $1 down and $1,000 off MSRP. Best of all, your price is locked in and you're protected against a Jeep price increase. Other Jeep dealers are charging tens of thousands of dollars over MSRP. But right now, you can order the exact Jeep you want for just $1 down and $1,000 below MSRP. Gotta go to Galliana. $1 down, $1,000 below MSRP Jeep sales event at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com. Example 2022 Jeep Wrangler. $1 down, $618 per month for 60 months at 4% APR. Plus tax and tag includes $225 closing fee. Expires month end.
Hey, it's Terry Ford from 107.5 The Game. Just want to yap with you a minute about real estate. Okay, if you're dealing in the real estate market, either buying or selling, it's the biggest transaction for a lot of folks that you'll ever make, right? So if you're going to be dealing with the biggest transaction you're ever going to make in your life, you need somebody you can trust and depend on. Because trust and dependability are kind of important when you're dealing with this kind of money. Call my guy, Kevin Johnson, Jeff Cook Real Estate. 2 key values of the Johnson team: communication, availability. Don't believe me? Write down this number real quick. 803-770-5496. That's 803-770-5496. You call it, guess what happens? Kevin will personally take your call. It won't be some 800 number talking to some guy in Billings, Montana, who doesn't know Columbia, South Carolina from Columbia, Missouri, or the country Columbia. So if you're buying or selling a home, call Kevin Johnson of Jeff Cook Real Estate, 803-770-5496, or online at johnsonteamsc.com.
Welcome to Gracie's.
Hi, we're here to watch the game. Got a good table?
No, follow me.
My shoes are actually stuck to the floor.
Come to the table when you get turned loose, and don't order the wings if you ain't got your gallbladder.
Watching the big game should be a pleasure, not a greasy mess. At the Mellow Mushroom, you'll find great wings, pizza, salads, hoagies, burgers, and cold beer in a way cool, non-greasy atmosphere. The Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Guys, want an effective, affordable way to get ED medication 100% online? Whether you're looking for Viagra or Cialis, or generic medications as effective as Viagra but 90% cheaper, you can find it all through HIMS. HIMS is your go-to for doctor-trusted treatments to help you treat ED. Get ED treatment for as low as $3 per use and save up to $1,000 per month with generic for Viagra versus the brand name at 4hims.com/radio. If prescribed, your medication will be shipped to your door in discreet packaging. Do it all online. No in-person appointments. Get hard results with HIMS or your money back. Go to 4hims.com/radio to get your first visit free. That's 4hims.com/radio to get started free. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Hey Gamecock fans, this is William DiMaggio with Coldwell Banker Realty. Since 1985, my parents Danny and Karen Hood have been striving to give better than expected real estate service to our clients in the Midlands of South Carolina. In 2014, I joined them, and since then, the Hood team has consistently been recognized as the #1 Coldwell Banker Realty small team in the Carolinas. So if you want honesty, integrity, and results backed by experience in buying or selling real estate, call the Hood team at 803-730-2512 or online at thehoodteam.com.
It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, presented by Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen with Pearson Fowler, Chris Clark, and Wes Mitchell on the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
$11:35 Friday morning, and welcome back into the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Pearson, Preston, Wes, Chris here with you, talking a little Carolina football here today. No Gamecock game this weekend, but an opportunity at the midway point of the season to evaluate what's been working for the offense, what's not been working for the offense. We'll do the defense on Monday, some report cards. Preston and I are going to be doing what is good, and what is possible. We'll get you guys to chime in on that as well. But there are a lot of other games, a lot of other good games around this weekend. I don't know if y'all heard this earlier or if you've maybe seen this floating around, but this is just the second time in the history of college football that there will be 3 sets of games between 2 teams that are at least 5-0. Sounds like a specific stat, but you got Penn State 5-0 against 6-0 Michigan. You have 6-0 Alabama against 5-0 Tennessee and 5-0 Oklahoma State against 5-0 TCU. Incredible. So let's go ahead and start with the marquee matchup of the weekend of my life. Let me ask it like this, actually. Which one of you two is older?
I am by
Oh, really?
a little bit, I think.
Okay.
Not by much.
Wes, has a Tennessee-Alabama game ever mattered in your life?
Surely.
Yes, but I don't remember it.
Okay. All right, cool. So this is new for you as well.
This is trickier than you think because at a time when Tennessee was good, Alabama wasn't good, right? And so that question is a little bit slippery, a little bit more slippery than you would think it is, actually.
So when do you remember those games mattering?
I don't.
You don't?
The assumption is that at a time it did, but I'm looking at the cross section of when both teams were good, and I don't know how much overlap there's been in the past. Obviously, the past 10 years.
That's interesting, considering those two schools have pitched the biggest freaking fit about not wanting to do away with that rivalry that hasn't meant anything to either one of those schools in 50 years.
Chris, do you have something?
I didn't know this, so I looked it up. Do y'all know what the streak is right now?
15 straight for Alabama.
That's crazy.
15 straight.
15 straight. The last win, 2006. Philip Fulmer was the coach.
So that was the year
Tennessee.
before Lane Kiffin.
Mike Shula was the Alabama.
Oh wow,
head coach.
That was not a good Tennessee team either, was it?
I don't think so, because in 2005, Carolina, that was the year Carolina beat them for the first time.
Didn't Tennessee win an overtime game in 06?
That would have been 07 was the one that they won, I think. Because 2005 was in Knoxville. The one they won in overtime where Ryan Suckup missed a kick was also in Knoxville. So that had to be 07. I've memory hold what happened in 2006, I guess. Do you remember what did they win, lose? Probably not a draw.
It was not a draw. I think Seville started that game. I think that was when they were sort of going back and forth between Savell and Blake Mitchell.
Tennessee won.
It was a cold night game.
31-24.
Close game. Sounds like it. In any case, we have a game that is actually very, very interesting between these two. Bryce Young's health looms over the game. Seems like it's trending towards him playing. How close to 100% he is, I guess, remains the looming question mark there. But we're going to tie this in with our buy or sell. I don't know how you want to do this other than maybe Wes. Are you buying that Tennessee is only 7 points worse than Alabama right now?
All right, so my brain can't even fathom that question. So are we let's pick the games. This is buy or sell, but let's say it the way it could be understood. So
I don't know how to do that.
Well, I got you. Did you already give picks on this earlier?
Yeah, Preston and I picked.
Did y'all pick against the spread or straight up?
Yeah, against the spread.
Okay. Well,
we can do whatever you want. This is a different hour.
Okay. I'm seeing it at 7.5 right now, but I think seven is a more interesting conversation. So are y'all buying that Alabama wins this game by more than 7 points?
Yes.
I said no. I like Tennessee in the points. Now we were picking it at 7, so Preston might feel great about Alabama at 7, but not 7.5.
True.
But he likes both of them.
I'm with both of them.
Thinks he'll win by at least 8. What do you think, Chris?
I will sell. I think it'll be closer than 7.
Okay. I'm selling as well. Anybody buying that Tennessee wins, bonus, anybody buying that Tennessee wins straight up? Anybody willing to go full on Tennessee upset?
Don't you dare do it.
You know what? Drew texted me after the segment. He's like, I don't even think Preston went to Carolina with all of his Clemson proclivity. So you know what? Because you've picked Clemson like 3 times in our pick segment this week, I'm going to pick Tennessee to win outright.
Well, you're still in my thunder. I was going to do the same.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. All right. So
Jeff Heupel, he's here.
Jeez.
We got 2 UT upsets on the board. Me and Pearson.
That's exciting.
Speaking of Clemson, let's go on over to that game.
All right.
The line right now is 3.5. Are y'all buying that Clemson wins this game by 4 or more?
Yes.
Yes.
Bye.
Sell.
Pearson sells. Will you go Florida State?
Absolutely. I said Florida State has 1 upset in them this week. They should have had it last week against NC State. They squandered the opportunity, but they still have 1 upset in them. That's this week.
Okay, you'll get bonus points in our we don't actually have points in this, but you'll get bonus points.
Good.
If you get both those right, that'll be impressive. I will buy FSU, keeping it close, but without the upset.
Preston doesn't like it. Hey, is this an emotional hedge?
For me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, as in, if Clemson wins and covers, then you're at least right, and if they lose, you're happy anyway.
I'm not with Florida State. Something about Mike Norvell and crew. I'm not.
Yeah.
You're not there?
Not there yet.
Okay, Michigan, Penn State. Currently, Michigan favored by 7. So, are y'all buying Michigan by more than 7?
Preston and I both bought khakis last hour. You can hedge if you want.
I'm not hedging, man. I think James Franklin's a fraud.
Yeah.
Give me Harbaugh.
Christopher.
Wes, you wore your khakis.
I did.
Khakis.
I
didn't, but I'm taking Michigan.
Oh, dusting off the khakis for tomorrow. It's good.
So we all y'all think it's going to be close at all?
I've got Michigan not big. I've got Michigan comfortable.
The more important question is, what time is that game? Because I can't think of a team.
Is that nooner?
A game between 2 more highly ranked teams that I really don't want to watch.
Really? It's a mimosa game. Noon.
Does anybody really want to watch Michigan and Penn State?
I'm kind of excited.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
For
Well,
what?
what are the other noon games?
Is You got Auburn, Ole Miss.
Give me that one.
Oh yeah,
Really?
I do like Lane Train. I'll watch any Ole Miss game.
You can watch Miami, Ohio, and Bowling Green.
Ooh,
Big time.
yep.
Lane Kiffin's going to have a loser leave town game with himself. if he loses, if he loses, he's going to take the Auburn job. If he wins, he stays at Ole Miss.
Oh god.
It's gonna be the reverse. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna just get on a plane as opposed to being left at the tarmac. He's gonna
Yeah.
be like, all right, guys.
That's awesome. I'm not cutting a new promo today, but I wish I were because that would be in there. That's a gem. Okay, wait, Wes, I'm making us pick one because I want to know your thoughts on the Mississippi State Kentucky game. I don't even know what the spread is. That's a fascinating game for me between two like traditional bottom dwellers that are both trying to punch above their weight and like get into the upper crust of their respective divisions.
Yeah. The line. Wow, the line has jumped. The line is Mississippi State -4. I tell y'all what. I think Mississippi State is pretty good.
Yeah.
I will buy Mississippi State both to win the game and to win the game by more than 4. I think they're going to win by about 7 or 8.
Christoph?
Kentucky, straight up. Against the grain. Nothing more than a feeling.
That's I usually use nothing more than a feeling.
Right. We don't have advanced knowledge, unfortunately. And the reason I say more than like just to feel like on paper, like probably everybody should pick Mississippi State.
Why probably? Will Levis is the future Tom Brady.
They look good.
Yeah, they did
this year. I think I'm kind of banking on Kentucky defensively, like causing some issues for them, turnovers. The best quarterback in the history of NFL projections.
No,
will
just
probably return.
all football, all levels. Flag, arena, Canadian, European.
Yep. Best prospect ever. But if he plays, he does make a difference, obviously. So
I have a weird feeling that Mississippi State's gonna roll in this game.
Okay.
Like 41-20. I don't know why.
That's what they've been doing to people.
I guess so.
A lot of times.
But Kentucky's defense is good.
Right.
I don't know. I have a weird feeling. I think it's just the matchup problem. It's just such an unusual offense. It's like trying to prepare for a triple option, you know? It's like you see this kind of offense once a year. Even though they have been running it more, it's still I mean, they have one tackle on each hash. Like that's what their splits are. It's ridiculous.
How has does anybody know if Mississippi State stops the run this year? Like I haven't watched enough of them to know. Any ideas?
Medium.
Because I feel like Kentucky. Now this game is in Kentucky. It is a night game. I gotta say, I was pretty impressed with Kentucky's atmosphere against South Carolina. So I think that could be a factor here. I think it's going to be tighter than you think.
Yeah, I'm probably wrong. I normally am. I'm 8-15-2 in my Mason Dixon lines picks this year. So don't pick with me. Yeah.
Preston, what you got?
Who do I have? I mean, obviously I want Kentucky to win. And I think I want Kentucky to win so that our win feels better
there you go.
In hindsight. So give me Kentucky.
There you go.
Cool. That was buy or sell?
Is there anything else that anybody wants to throw into the buy or sell?
Are you going to be buying or selling any elephant ears this weekend?
Ooh. I won't be this weekend, but at some point I will be buying some fried Oreos.
Sell elephant ears. Sell them all. Buy all the funnel cakes you can.
What topping?
Powdered sugar is cool.
Okay.
Keep it
classic.
Wes likes the strawberry jelly.
No, chocolate all the way.
Okay, yeah, chocolate's. I take the funnel cake, I get the little squirt bottle of chocolate, and then I put the funnel cake in the trash can, and then I squirt the chocolate in my mouth. That's how that works.
So you just paid $15 to squirt chocolate in your mouth.
Yeah, pretty much.
To own big elephant ears. He did it to prove a point.
Do you look them in the eye as you throw it in the trash?
Yeah.
I have an interesting we don't have to make this official buy or sell, but a game that caught my eye and the line that caught my eye.
Tell us about it.
Kansas, Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
Yes.
Okay. the line that they've got on ESPN's schedule here, Oklahoma -9.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it opened at a touchdown. That's just Jalen Daniels being out, I guess.
That's what I'm thinking.
Which is tough. I mean, when you lose one of the more productive starting quarterbacks in college football this year.
That's an interesting line.
Yeah.
What's everybody's pick?
I have no idea what Kansas has behind Jalen Daniels.
Jason Bean.
Probably normal Kansas football players.
This is an easy pick. This got to be Kansas.
Really?
Yeah, this is easy.
Oh.
Not based on any of just the trajectory of what the teams are doing right now.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't see that getting corrected. 49-0.
Yeah.
That team's is in trouble. Not saying the program or whatever, but
yeah.
As where it stands right now, I don't know if
I'm
it's
just
getting
wondering
better.
if we're going to look back at a 5-7 Kansas season and be like, hey, remember when they were undefeated?
I mean that I still think that's on the table.
Yeah. But I guess at 5-7, that's what Oklahoma's kind of looking at right now too, is maybe 5-7.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically switching quarterback because they're not switching quarterbacks. I misspoke. One team is losing their really good quarterback, and one team is getting their really good quarterback back because Dylan Gabriel is supposed to play for Oklahoma, and that makes somewhat of a difference. He doesn't play defense for him, which has been a problem.
Anytime.
Well, hold on. We got to take a break.
The Halftime Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford.
Noon to 3.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
High school coverage on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Since 1964, Gateway Supply has been the Midland's leader in plumbing and HVAC supply, and now, of course, they are statewide with more than 15 locations all across South Carolina. Their showrooms are filled with bath and kitchen fixtures from classic to modern styles. Now, tap and touchless faucets. You can even talk to your kitchen sink. See them at Hamrick Street near the Fairgrounds in Williams-Brice or Highway 6 and Whiteford Way in Lexington. Design services, expert advice for customers and contractors alike. Visit them online at gatewaysupply.net.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher with exciting news.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, Emmitt Smith wants to introduce you to QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in biologic treatment for pain. I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself. No medications, no surgeries, no downtime.
If you have pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, don't assume the old treatments are the only treatments. Learn more about how you can get lasting relief with biologic treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain. Play golf without pain, walk upstairs without pain, play with your kids and grandkids without pain. Get back on your job without pain. Live your life pain-free. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 803-281-6860. That's 803-281-6860. 803-281-6860.
You got the bye-week blues. You got the
Stop the music. Gamecock Traditions has the cure for those blues with fantastic specials this week only. All short sleeve tees and fashion apparel this week 20% off, excluding Under Armour. Get 15% off all hats. Select group of hoodies $15, plus many other in-store specials you won't want to miss. Gamecock Traditions, giving you the cure for your bye-week blues.
Is your old car really scary? Are you frightened by how much you owe? Gotta go to Galliana Kia on Greystone can get you out of your old car and into a new Kia with 0 down and 0 payments until next year. And we'll beat any price, anywhere in the USA. Send us a screenshot of the best price you can find, and Galliana Kia will sell it to you for less. New 2023 Kia Forte LXS, just $19,799. Sign and drive, not a lease. You own it for $289 per month with 0 down and 0 payments until next year. Gotta go to Galliana. Galliana Kia on Greystone. I-126 Zoo exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Reserve right to validate comparison price. Forte stock number 3K1513. 0 down, $289 per month for 84 months at 5.99% APR. Price plus tax tag includes $225 closing fee. Negative trade equity financed in new loan. Subject to lender approval. Expires with that.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Presented by Firehouse Subs. Founded by firemen with Pearson Fowler, Chris Clark, and Wes Mitchell on the home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
A couple minutes left here on a Friday, Football Friday. Pearson, Preston, West, Chris here with you at the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. We're going to wrap up some buy or sell. Also want to remind you guys that you can keep listening to 107.5 The Game, and you'll have more chances to win tickets to go see Styx. So, Chris, you can tell your dad to tune in if he doesn't already, and he can win some tickets to go see his favorite band. Or is that Wes's dad's favorite band?
No, I was going to, I mean, sorry to make you feel awkward. My dad passed in 2018.
I'm sorry. I didn't
but
know that.
No, you're fine. I always think of my dad, though, with Styx. That was his favorite band. What was that song they had? Everybody's like,
Mr. Roboto?
Well, they did have that one, which is it's not a good song. Terry came down yesterday when we were talking about Styx, and I told him that. I was like, that was my dad's favorite band. And he was like, oh, God, dude. I was like, no.
You
My
talking
dad
about
had
Come Sail
good
Away?
taste.
You talking about Renegade?
No, Lady. You just put it in my head. There's a
okay.
song they do called Lady. That was his favorite song. Not sure other than that much, but yeah. My dad has he had a sweet record collection.
That's so cool.
Michael Jackson Thriller,
Oh, wow.
original record. Yes.
Vinyls are back.
They
are.
It's so sad that, I'll be like, here, baby Thorn, here's my Spotify collection. Like it's gonna be so disappointing.
I made you a playlist.
Yeah, that's so that's
Online.
trash.
I'm gonna
man.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give you my password.
Yeah.
You wrap it up, type it out, and wrap it.
That's garbage.
Yeah, not a physical. You've talked about this before. Music's not physical anymore. It's very sad. We were playing some buy or sell for some of the big games around the weekend, and Wes wants to tell everybody who sponsors buy or sell.
Yes, our friend Kendall Walsh. She's a realtor at the Moore Company. She sponsors our buy or sell every single week. We appreciate Kendall for that. She helped us buy a house. She can do the same for you. 803-414-3590. Work with Walsh. Just remember that because it's workwithwalsh@gmail.com. It's Work with Walsh on Twitter. That's the Instagram as well. Some of you may remember Kendall. She used to be Kendall Belt when she worked with the Gamecock Club. She is a 2-time graduate of the University of South Carolina. Huge Gamecock fan. And she was telling me basically that there's a lot of kind of just scary things about the market, scary headlines. But if you are in that position where you want to buy a new home, you may be in a better spot than you think. So give her a no obligation call, 803-414-3590. And if you're buying a house, then that commission actually comes, you don't pay a thing, basically. That comes from the person who is selling the home. So if you're thinking about buying a house,
Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we've seen.
Give her a call at 803-414-3590.
Colin Taylor, gets everybody's picks for the picks piece that y'all have up on Gamecock Central. I may have been the only one, but I did send him a pick for Carolina against the open week. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? I said 38-3.
Gamecock's big.
You win the open week if you get everybody healthy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll talk more about this team from a big picture perspective heading into the second half of the schedule on Monday. That is all we have time for. Enjoy the weekend off for Carolina fans. Enjoy one of the biggest college football weekends we have ever had, and we will be back to talk about it on Monday.